Good morning everyone, welcome back. I'll continue the same chapter, midpoint theorem. In previous video I had discussed about theorem. Midpoint theorem tells you that the line joining the midpoint of any two sides of the triangle is parallel to the third side and it is half of the third side. So let's do some problems to understand midpoint theorem and its application. Question number 1 from exercise 11. Question says that in the figure given below, D, E, F are midpoint of side BC, CA and AB respectively. If AB equal to 6 cm, BC is 4.8 and CA is 5.6, find the perimeter of trapezium and perimeter of triangle. Triangle ABC. E, F and D are the midpoints. Question says that find the perimeter of trapezium. Trapezium is a four-sided figure in which opposite sides are parallel. The length of AB is given in the question, which is equal to 6 cm. BC is given 4.8 cm. CA is given, which is equal to 5.6 cm. With the help of these given values, you need to calculate the perimeter of trapezium, that is F, B, C, E, or you can say E, C, B, F. You need to use midpoint theorem to solve this. Look at the calculation part. Since E, F and D are midpoints of AC, AB and BC, they are the midpoint, means that these points divide the sides in equal halves. Length of AB is given 6 cm, so total length 6 cm has been divided in two equal parts. First part is 3 cm. 3 cm. Similarly, BC is given 4.8 total length. 4.8 cm is 2.4. Similarly, you have 5.6, the total length, which you divide in two parts, 2.8 centimeter. We know almost all the sides of the trapezium except EF, and in order to get this we use midpoint formula. Since E and F are midpoints of AC and AB, therefore by midpoint theorem EF is parallel to BC. The line joining the midpoint of any two sides of the triangle is parallel to the third side and it is half of it. So EF is equal to half of BC. Substitute the value. 4.8 is the total length. You get 2.4 centimeter. Right in the figure here, 2.4 centimeter. Now you need to get the perimeter. Perimeter of trapezium F B C E equal to, you just need to add all the sides of a four-sided figure. You'll get the perimeter, the length of the boundary. You can start writing like this: FB plus BC plus CE plus EF. Substitute. FB is 3 centimeter, 4.8 centimeter, 2.8 centimeter and 2.4 centimeter. Add it up. 4 plus 8 is 12, 12 plus 8 is 20, 0, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 centimeter is the perimeter of the trapezium. 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 centimeter. It's not difficult, you just need to write these terms and then proceed with calculation. Since E and F are midpoint of AC and AB, line joining the midpoint is always parallel to the third side and it is half of the third side. That is the statement of midpoint, and we do calculation using that. First part. Now second part, question says that calculate the perimeter of triangle EFD. We need to find the perimeter of triangle EFD. One side is known, we do not know the side FD and DE. We use midpoint formula to calculate this. Look at the calculation. Since F and D are midpoints of AB and BC, therefore FD is parallel to AC. The line joining the midpoint of any two sides of the triangle is parallel to the third side, and it is half of it, half of AC. So you write half AC is known, that is 5.6. We calculate, we get 2.8 centimeter. We know the second side. Similarly, since D and E are midpoints of BC and AC, therefore ED is parallel to AB. Line joining the midpoint of two sides of the triangle is parallel to the third side, and it is half of the third side. We know the length of AB, that is 6 centimeter. We calculate 3 centimeter. You know all the sides of the triangle, therefore perimeter of triangle EFD. Perimeter is the length of the boundary, you just need to add it up. EF plus ED, FD plus ED. Substitute. EF is 2.4, FD is 2.8, and ED is 3 centimeter. 8, 4, 12, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8.2 centimeter. Only the application application of theorem. You don't have to write down the theorem, you just remember the line joining the midpoint of any two sides of the triangle is parallel to the third side, and it is half of the third side. So this is the application of midpoint theorem to calculate the perimeter. You may be asked to prove, look at question number 1C. Question says that D and E are midpoints of AB and BC respectively, and DF is parallel to BC. Condition is already given. DF is parallel to BC. Prove that DBEF is a parallelogram. Calculate AC if AF is 2.6 centimeter. Look at the proving part now. It's not difficult. You just need to use the theorem. See how do we proceed with proving part to prove DBEF is a parallelogram. Since D is midpoint of AB and DF is parallel to BC. D is midpoint and this line DF is parallel to BC. By converse of midpoint theorem, midpoint and line parallel to the third side is passing through the midpoint of another line, another side of the triangle. Therefore, F is midpoint of AC. Since D is midpoint and DF is parallel to BC, by converse of midpoint theorem, line passing through the midpoint of one side of the triangle and parallel to the third side also passes through the midpoint of third side. So we can write DF is equal to half of BC. DF is half of BC, midpoint theorem. So we know this DF is parallel to this and it is half of it. Therefore, DF will be equal to BE. DF will be equal to BE. Half of it means these two lengths are equal. So this length will be equal to this out here. Suppose you take this one as 2 centimeter. So this entire length will be 4 centimeter. 4 is divided in 2 equal parts, 2, 2. So by midpoint theorem, if it is parallel to the third side, DF is half of BC, which is equal to BE is equal to DF. Since DF is parallel to BC, therefore DF will be parallel to BE. DF is equal to BE. Therefore, DBEF is a parallelogram. It is enough to prove if the opposite sides are parallel and equal, these two sides will also be parallel and equal by midpoint theorem. Or you can write, if you want, E and F are midpoint of AC and BE. DF is parallel to AB. Therefore, BD is equal to EF. And then you prove it. DBEF is a parallelogram. This is the first part. Now second part question says that if AF is 2.6 centimeter, calculate the length of AC. Calculate the length of AC, the total length. Since DF is parallel to BC, by converse of midpoint theorem, F is midpoint of AC. Midpoint of AB parallel to the side BC, passing through the midpoint of third side AC. That is converse of midpoint theorem. So since F is midpoint of AC, therefore AF is equal to FC. And we know the length of AF 2.6 centimeter. Therefore AC is equal to AF plus FC. Substitute 2.6 plus 2.6, which is equals to 5.2 centimeter. This is the proving of parallelogram and calculating the side using converse of midpoint theorem and midpoint theorem itself. Application of midpoint theorem in question number 4. And please do practice this question, it's important. Question number 4. Question says that diagonal BC and BD of a parallelogram ABCD intersect at O. P is the midpoint of AB. Prove that PO is parallel to AB. PO is half of CD. You need to draw a parallelogram for this. Diagram has to be drawn. ABCD is a parallelogram. And you know the properties of parallelogram. The sides are parallel and equal to each other. Diagonal AC and BD intersect each other at O. And you know the property of diagonals. Diagonals of a parallelogram intersect each other in equal halves. These two sides are equal. AO is equal to OC. Similarly, DO is equal to OB. P is midpoint of AD. You mark a point here. P. Prove that PO is parallel to AB. Join PO. Join it. Now use triangle. In triangle ABD. ABD. Since P and O are midpoints of AD and BD. P is midpoint of AD, it's given in the question. O is the midpoint of BD. You have to use the property of diagonals. Diagonal bisect each other in equal equal halves means it is midpoint. So since P and O are midpoints of AD and BD, by midpoint theorem, midpoint theorem states that line passing through the midpoint of any two sides of the triangle is parallel to third side. Therefore, PO is parallel to AB. This is the first part, proved. Second part, question says that to prove PO is equal to CD. This PO is equal to CD. You cannot directly solve it since ABCD is a parallelogram. AB is equal to CD. Opposite sides are parallel and equal. Therefore, PO is equal to half of AB. By midpoint theorem, PO is equal to half of AB. PO is equal to half, sides are parallel and equal. AB will be replaced by CD. Therefore, PO is equal to half of CD, proved. This is the application of midpoint theorem. You take triangle, PO and P and O are midpoint, so line passing through midpoint is parallel to third side and it is half of it. You don't have to write the statement of midpoint, you just mention here by midpoint theorem and then do the proving. Look at question number 5. Question says that prove SR is parallel to AC, SR is half of AC, PQ is equal to SR, prove that PQRS is a parallelogram. And question will be slightly lengthy, so please do watch it carefully. ABC, D, AC is diagonal, P, Q, RS are midpoints of side A, B, B, C, C, D, D, A. AC is diagonal. To prove number 1, to prove SR is parallel to AC, SR is equal to half of AC. It's not difficult if you look at the diagram carefully. S, P, Q, R are the midpoints. And since we are talking about triangles, so from this quadrilateral we extract triangle and then start calculation. In triangle ACD, look at this part, ACD. Since S and R are midpoints of AD and CD. S and R are midpoint of the sides. By midpoint theorem, line passing through the midpoint of any two sides of the triangle is parallel to the third side. Therefore, SR is parallel to AC. Proved. Second part, SR is half of AC. Statement of midpoint theorem tells you that line passing through the midpoints of any two sides of the triangle is parallel to the third side, and it is half of it. So straight away you write, this is the important term, midpoints. By midpoint theorem, proved. Then you have second part to prove PQ is equal to SR. This PQ is equal to SR. Look at this proving now. In triangle ABC, now we take this triangle A, B and C. Since P and Q are midpoints of AB and BC, therefore PQ is parallel to AC. Line passing through the midpoint of any two sides of the triangle is parallel to the third side. PQ is equal to half of AC. In first proving, we take SR equals to half of AC as one first equation. Second one, PQ equals to half of AC as second part. Therefore, from 1 and 2, from first proving and second proving, AC is equal to AC. It is common in both. So from first one we substitute AC. AC can be written as 2 into SR. From second one, AC can be written as 2PQ. 2 cancels from both the sides. Therefore, PQ is equal to SR. Proved. Or you can directly write from equation 1 and 2, SR is half of AC, PQ is half of AC, therefore PQ is equal to SR. You can write directly or you can calculate. Third part, question says that prove PQRS is a parallelogram. From 1 and 2. From 1 and 2, look at this. SR is parallel to AC and PQ is parallel to AC. Therefore, SR is parallel to PQ. First one. This line is parallel to AC. PQ is parallel to AC. Therefore, SR is parallel to PQ. And we have already proved PQ is equal to SR. Two sides are parallel and equal. Therefore, other two sides will be parallel and equal. Or you can calculate by joining the diagonal BD. Use this triangle, get SR. Use this triangle, get RQ, and then prove it. Or you can write directly. You don't have to prove other side. Two sides are parallel and equal means that four-sided figure is a parallelogram. Therefore, PQRS is a parallelogram. By midpoint theorem application, slightly confusing. Please do watch it carefully. Thank you very much. Stay safe.